Well, hey, happy holidays. It's to everyone here on Facebook and wherever else we might be appearing. We are thrilled to be here tonight. I'm Tia Knapp, and my friend next door is
Is Dr. Michael Gross. How are you?
we
So
are
glad for you to join us. I'm playing with my holiday ball here and having a great time, and we're all set for Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. Welcome, everybody.
we thank you very much, Michael, for joining us. And the holidays are almost here. Christmas is only merely a few days away. Today is actually the winter solstice, the the
Yes,
the shortest day of the year. So there's a lot to be talking about. And with
absolutely.
that being said, what I'm going to do is I also have to apologize if we cut in and out. We're having a huge internet issue up here, probably because I'm close to Santa Claus in the North Pole, and he's really busy right now, right, Michael?
Yes, Rudolph is warming up his nose, and all that
Okay,
electricity
I'm going
is
to keep on
making
going.
things
What I'm
go
going to
down.
do is I will introduce Dr. Michael Gross to everybody, and we're just going to hope that the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is doing like test runs up in the North Pole. Hopefully, he doesn't get tangled in our power lines, right?
Right.
All right. Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the True Source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. Michael remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the True Source. He currently lives in Lakewood, Washington, and he has an amazing holiday message for you. So tonight, if you have questions, you can put them in the comments, and we are going to leave his contact information in the comments as well. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to you, Michael.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I know you're really busy preparing for your holidays, and hopefully you'll have a time to review the message later on in the week if you miss this. This is such an important holiday because it's a holiday of love and giving. It's also a holiday of taking a review of yourself and showing appreciation for others. But I'd like you to spend a moment and be selfish for 1 minute, actually, a few minutes. And when I say being selfish, is to thank you yourself for everything that has occurred in your life, seeing what beauty that's within you. I know you look around, you're busy with the holidays, worried about cooking, getting enough gifts and everything, but have you ever given yourself a gift? And the gift I'm talking about is a gift of self love and reviewing what's going on in your life. So when I talk about self love, I like all of you to think about what have you done in this beautiful holiday before? How have you brought joy to others before? More importantly, did you exclude yourself? Did you sacrifice for yourself? Were you a martyr? By showing appreciation for who you are and beginning to love yourself, something magical happens. The magical thing that happens is people begin to look at you in a different way. And they say, what a warm smile, or look how good you look, or I appreciate being with you. They're being touched by the love. Self love doesn't mean being conceited or haughty or manipulative, controlling. It's saying, I love you because I know I am an aspect of the true source. Kind of interesting to think about that. But I remind everyone the Old Testament said, we're made in the image of God, as I call the true source. And as Jesus said, is that the kingdom of heaven is within. So you spread love by your thoughts and your energies, by smiling at everyone. Because you see, if you bother to take the time to love yourself, spend a moment to see all the beautiful things about you, not the wrinkles in your face. Are you late? Or you offended somebody? Yeah, you did that and it happened. But I speak to so many souls, and when I talk to them, we talk about a life review. And what happens when you birth out of your body? You have a life review, and you're going, oh. And And everybody you have bought or brought pain to, you feel tenfold. And everyone you have brought love and joy to, you feel tenfold. So most people go, oh boy, look at all the things I've done to other people. Here's the secret. Have you brought negative things 24/7 to people around you for the number of years of your life? You really haven't. You've brought a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. So at the most, maybe 6 or 8%, maybe even less, you brought some negativity. And then people, oh my God, oh, that much? It's like, what about the other 92% or 94% you brought love and joy? So if you had a scale and it's like you're measuring the scale and it goes, I brought unhappiness, and the scale goes down. What if I were to tell you that the scale goes like this? Hardly perceptible, because you brought love and joy and happiness in their lives. One of the most important things that I want all of you to think about is spend this moment to think about all those you brought joy. Yes, this is Christmas, and you'll have dinner, spend time with them, exchange gifts. But as we get older in life, it's so much more exciting to give gifts. The gift that I desire all of you to think about is give everyone the gift of love. I just had lunch with some friends, and they always know I hug on the left side. And the reason I do that is heart to heart. Spend a moment, give them a hug, tell them you love them. Just tell them that. Doesn't make a difference what their sex is, because you were talking about spiritual love. And tell them how much you enjoy them. And here's what happens. We reflect back energy that is directed towards us, and we reflect energy we're feeling to someone else. Therefore, you give somebody a hug, you are reflecting love into their bodies. They are reciprocating and sending it back. It's like, what a good feeling you have. What a joyous feeling you have. How wonderful you are, and how joyous you are. This is something you really need to examine and look at. You see, part of my branding, I guess they call me, is that you are unlimited. And once you begin to understand you are unlimited, then you begin to understand that there's only one path, and the path involves everything you can do for love. I always talk about there's a payoff for everything you do. You send love, express love, comes back to you. You send out hate, anger, frustration, comes back to you. Or what comes around goes around, or the law of right action and correct exchange. Think of all the joyous things you've done over this past year for many people. Maybe you gave them a lift to work. Maybe you listened to them. Maybe you supported them in a decision. Maybe you took them out to lunch. Maybe you just caused them to smile or spend time and listen. You've done so many wonderful things that you've forgotten about it. But the most important thing in the universe is that we have to make a decision. I know it's not New Year's, but make a decision that this love of this holiday expand. Some of you are going to be alone for the holidays. Most of you will be with someone. But even in your aloneness, you're never ever alone. Yeah, there's maybe not a physical person here, but your guides, your angels, guardian angels, all around you. You are never, never alone. And the God, the true source of unconditional love, is always being beamed to you 24/7. Well, you probably say, why don't I feel it? Simple. Why are you rejecting it? Why are you feeling unworthy of it? Why do you have such low self-love, self-esteem? And why are you reflecting upon all the negative things in your life? We all had a lot of negative things. I don't care who you are. We all have. But we all have had a lot of loving, joyous things. And how do we learn in our life? We learn two ways. One, we read a book or someone explains something. Yep, I got it. But most of us learn through experience. Through the love and joy and pain of it, we learn. And I want to remind all of you that, as the true source told me, there's no such thing as failure. Failure is with learning what works and doesn't work. Very important for you to realize that. And then we have to turn around and look at ourselves and say, what is beautiful about us? Well, I look in the mirror and I see my wrinkles and my aging. Yeah. But when we look at people, what happens? We look at them physically, but then something mesmerizes you. When they smile, they send love, they're laughing and they're happy. You feel good around them. You feel happy. That's much better than what you look like because you see, we relate to one another not by our physicalness, but we relate to each other by our energy, our vibrations, and our thoughts. That's how we relate to each other. And that is what's so important. What is your epitaph? Oh, my aunt, my uncle, father, mother, brother, sister, whatever, friend, have a lot of joy and happiness. And it's so great. I was out to lunch today, as I said, with two of my other friends, and we hugged. We said we loved each other, and we really meant it. And we felt very close kinship to one another. And that's so important. And we don't spend time doing that. We're so much in a hurry, so much in a hurry to get work done, go to work, we ignore others, but we ignore ourselves. Spend a moment, think about it. Look in that mirror every morning and say, whatever your name is, I love you. Say it several times. You're going to feel weird. But you know what? Guess what? Your body responds to your thoughts and emotions. And if you doubt that, think what happens when you get angry. Your blood pressure goes up, your heart pounds, perhaps your stomach gets upset, you feel jittery, you get warm, you get flushed, whatever it is. So understanding your emotions affect your body. What if it was complimentary, like I love you, it's so good to be around you, I have fun, etc. How do you think your body responds to it? It's going, yeah, 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 I feel good, I feel good. He's finally got it. Da 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 da. And it's so important for us to know that. Yes, I'm overemphasizing it, but the truth is the truth, and the truth will stand. And what will stand is you, me, all of us need to take time to find the beauty within us. Won't take you hours. Just think of all the wonderful things you've done throughout this year or in the years to help someone. Maybe you weren't acknowledged, but just know at a soul level it was appreciated. And everything you do that is positive, a smile, a compliment, just listening, or just helping someone out, or just being there, or praying for them, or just spending time and laughing. Anything you do changes the energy of another person and brings about love and joy and happiness. And that's so important. They say at this time between Christmas and New Year's, people are lonely, they get depressed or they get angry. Well, why? They're focusing on their loss and their negative. Nobody's around me, I'm all alone. You're never alone. I spent many Christmases, Christmas Eve and New Year's alone, didn't know many people, but I really felt good and I felt happy. Did I feel sorry for myself? No. Did I miss some of it? Yeah, I did. But I gave that about 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, and then meditated and gave thanks for everything, and I felt much better. Sometimes in your aloneness, you find great wisdom and thoughts. You spend time thinking about your life. You may meditate. You may watch something, The Miracle of 47th Street, that old film. Or what's that other one where he was a banker, Jimmy Stewart? I forgot the name of that one. The Miracle. I can't hear you, or on mute.
The Miracle on 34th Street.
Yep. So there's so many beautiful things that is happening, everyone, that we forget. We're so tied up with fear and doubt, we don't see the beauty within us. When's the last time you went out and looked at the full moon or watched the sunset and see the amber skies? When's the last time you did that? When's the last time that you sat there and reflected and you give thanks for your life? Yeah, what is a perfect life? I don't know what a perfect life is. My ideal perfect is different from yours and everyone else. But perfect means feeling comfortable. And stop looking around and looking at all the things you don't have rather than looking at all the things you have. Whether you have luxury or not, it's really unimportant. I have friends that all want a luxury cars. You know what? A Rolls Royce will get you the same place as a Toyota Corolla that's 25 years old and runs. There's really no difference. It's all psychological. I know Tia would like to say something.
Yeah, Michael, could you repeat that again? What you just said about right now you have. Our internet cut out and I didn't hear that. And I think it's incredibly important that you say it again.
Well, I'm channeling the information, so I don't know if it'll be exactly, but right now in your life, see the joy and happiness. Right now, you're alive, you're breathing, you're having fun, and stop reflecting on what you don't have and reflecting on what you have. I know that's not the same thing, but because I'm channeling it, it just comes in and goes out and so on and so forth. Many of you may not know, but I'm channeling the information. It's nothing that I planned. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about until 5 or 10 minutes, maybe a little longer than that before, and I don't know how the words are coming out. But I desire all of you to know that, there's an old cliche, God don't make no junk. And understand that you are precious, you are beautiful. And the beauty within you is your life. You asked for life, and here you are. And some people go, well, I really didn't ask for this life. Yeah, you did. So why not reflect upon the beauty of it? You know, I've been in foreign countries, and I remember I was in a very good country called, you would call Antigua, they call Antigua. And there I was watching the people. And here I am in a luxury French villa that was put up by the corporation. And I went out and watched them, and they had one water spout. That's it. It was a water pump or a water spout. So they all went there. And then they cooked, and they cooked their food, and it was so interesting, and did everything by hand. They washed everything by hand. And I watched the kids, and they were going to parochial school, and the whites were whiter than white and starched. And they had to be washed every day or every other day, probably every day. And they were happy and they were singing. And that's when I realized less is more. The more we have in our life, the more it owns us. And there's so much talk these days about finances and high interest and loans. And we're always buying something to make us feel good. Problem with that challenge is, yeah, you feel good. Me too. Then it wears off, and then you need another thing and another thing. It's like you're being addicted to buying things to make you feel good or to show off who you are. And I have friends that'll go out, oh, my friend, the multimillionaire, yada, 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 yada. And in my mind, I go, big deal. What are they like? Who are they? I remember Shaq talking. Everybody remember the basketball. And he goes out and buys people lunch, or he does all this stuff, or he does all these wonderful things with his money because he has fun. And, he was talking about his children one day. They want something, they got to go out and earn it. And he's a multimillionaire, maybe a billionaire, I don't know. But he's very, very wealthy. And I said, wow, that's really wonderful. So we are giving gifts. And I was talking to my son, and I had several different businesses. And my son wanted money. And I said, well, you got to work in the business. And so he had a menial job, and that's how he got his money. And he was happy. And in visiting him, he said, Dad, I'm doing the same thing you did. I told my children if they want something, they have to work in my business. That's wonderful. He's a restaurateur. But what's so beautiful about it is he learned the value of a dollar and realized you can't sit on your tush and expect money coming in, your parents taking care of you. You can't. Because someday your parents are not going to be around and you won't value the dollar, and maybe you'll get a big inheritance. And I watch people just spend it and blow it away in record time. Here's a fact that's interesting. Almost all the lottery millionaires, almost all of them, have gone bankrupt. Interesting. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's very, very high, and I've read it several times. I said almost all, not all of them, because they don't value anything. Spend a moment and value your life. Value how important it is to be here. Value your relationships. And those relationships that are wasteful, time to say, I love you, sayonara. That's what's so important. Because you see, some of those relationships are toxic, and we want to be loved and accepted by them. And because it's so toxic, they kept pushing you away, they put you down, you kept trying to appease them. And it's a game with them, so they can control and manipulate you. Express love for them. And we have a saying in the spiritual world, love everybody, but love some people from a distance. Yes, to you.
So when you say love yourself, by loving yourself first, that's not being selfish or egotistical, right?
Correct.
Can you expand a little bit on that? Because when we love ourselves first, how does that resonate to everybody else?
Well, very good question. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Loving yourself means I see the beauty within me. I'm comfortable who I am, what I look like. I feel good about myself. I do everything I can to make myself happy. I also know that I'm becoming a role model for others. They're going to say, why is Tia so happy? Why is she, what's her secret? Why, whatever happens to her, she's just happy and just knows everything will come out and work out perfect. And she just expresses love for herself and love for her life. In other words, feeling comfortable, seeing nothing negative about you that your physical body, too short, too fat, too old, blah, 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 blah. Just feeling comfortable who you are. And this is what happens. As you love yourself, you are going to automatically spread this energy around you, saying, hello, my name is to you. Boy, you look beautiful, or this or that. You're just going to feel happy. So part of loving yourself is feeling happy and ignoring the flaws. What are the flaws? Who knows what they are? Sometimes we make mountains out of molehills. You heard that one before. And we do. I remember one time I was young and I had we call it zits, a pimple on your nose. What a place to get it on a date. I felt like I looked like Pinocchio. That's what I felt like. And eventually it went away, but in my mind, I magnetized. I was so embarrassed. And the girl that I dated, she didn't have much problem with it, or she was very tactful. But, 4 or 5 days later, it just went away. And that's what's so beautiful. It just disappeared. Stop thinking about all the things that are negative in your life. Focus on those things that bring you joy. Because focusing on what brings you joy is expression of loving yourself. Seeing the beauty within the person is seeing the beauty within you. Do you ever think about that? If you look at a person and say, what a beautiful smile, you're going to smile back. That's the beauty within you. You're reflecting it to each other. And it works opposite. If you're reflecting anxiety or anger or hate towards someone, yeah, they're going to feel that way to you. So everything is reciprocal. Everything is energy. Everything's a frequency. Everything's a vibration. And everything in your life is up to you because you see you are the director of your life. You wrote your script to be here. What does that mean, Michael? You looked at your life and chose what you chose to experience in this life to find love and joy and happiness to empower you. Because obviously, in another lifetime, you didn't get it right. Is this a punishment? You can live in that past fear and anger and anxiety, or it can be healed and move forward instantaneously. How do you do that? Just look at what you are to learn. What did I learn? That's so important. Think about that. What am I supposed to learn? Oh, I got it. Guess what? It's over with. It's done. Human part about, well, did I really get it? Is it really right? Is it going to go away? Isn't it going to go away? I don't know what I'm thinking. And maybe I'm being punished, and on and on. The minute you start that, all the good work of what you learned, you just bring it back in your life. And why would I do that? My question is, why? I don't know. I work with a lot of beautiful souls. And when I talk to them about releasing something, they said, I can't, I can't, I can't. I go, you won't, you won't, you won't. Oh, they get angry with me. But I push their button because there's a part of us, our ego, we have to be right. Well, you know what? We can say, I used to say in marketing sales, you can win the argument and lose the sale. In this case, you can win the argument and stay stuck. And that's so important for all of you to realize that. The most important thing for all of you to realize is that the only limitations you have in your life is a lack of loving yourself and believing that you are not the beautiful soul you are. Remember, you were created out of love, by love, and from love. And I wrote this poem, and I'm going to share it next month with all of you. I should say, not next month, but share it with all of you at our next session. But remember, without life, there is no love. Without love, there is no life. Therefore, I want to thank all of you for joining us. It's so important that you spend the time and listen to what I have to share with you. But more important, see the beauty within inside and loving yourself and spread the joy and love with in and around about you to everyone. Now, I know we're running down in time, so I'd like to share a couple of things with you. And the first thing I'd like to share with you is one thing that's very important, and that is every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, I have what we call Soul Awakening. And that's where you kind of call in and ask a spiritual question or a question about life, and hopefully I can answer it. And I deliver a 10-minute little motivational message. And I think there are 311 of them. So join us. What's the cost? Just being there with a smile. Besides, what do you got to lose? Maybe you know this. Maybe I'll remind you of something. Maybe you need to hear it. In order to access that, we do on our freeconferencecall.com. And the telephone number is?
The number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. Could you speak a little bit louder because you're...
Okay, we'll do that again. 202, is that loud enough?
Yes.
Okay. 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. Using the same number, same access code, the second Saturday of every month, at what we call the Mass Consciousness Healing. Starts at 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time. In the first 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, we chat a little bit and we get to know one another. Then we go into deep silence. So if you join us late and there's silence, it means we're still here. And what we do is ask for the true source of unconditional love to be a conduit, to touch our body, go through our hearts, and touch everything on this planet, to bring about unconditional love, allowing this non-judgmental. And so important because it affects everything, Mother Earth, animal, mineral, vegetable kingdom, because everything responds to the energy of love. And to access that, it's the same telephone number and area code. Would you do that one more time?
Absolutely. 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. And here's another opportunity. The other opportunity, all these messages, the 10-minute messages, are all saved and recorded. And I call it, the play, recall, playback, whatever. And all you need to do is dial these numbers, which we'll give you in a moment. And it goes from number 3 to number 311. Why I started number 3? It's a long story. And you don't know what number. People, what number should I do? What number should I do? Just let your intuition show you. And then I get feedback. That's just the one I needed to hear. Wow, it's amazing. It's a miracle. You're stuck in traffic. You're angry. You're upset. It's a beautiful message that will calm you down and empower you. And to access that information on your cell phone,
here's the number. And trust me, when you don't have a number in mind, a number pops into your mind, and that's the recording you need to listen to. He is so punctual. What's the word I'm looking for? He is so exact on that statement. Okay, so here's the number to the recordings. It's 434-300-4170. And the code, Michael?
125446 #.
Perfect. One more time on the number. 434-300-4170. And the access code?
125446 #. Here's what's interesting. Again, just choose the number. I'd also like to tell all of you that if you go to Dr. Michael B., like in Brilliant, Gross, or Bartholomew, that's not my middle name, you go to YouTube, and all the recorded messages that we've done the podcast with TU and I. Also, a lot of messages will be shown to you on a beautiful photograph. And these messages on the photographs is taken by award-winning photographer. I think her name is TU Knapp. You may know her. And there's a little quote, and there's an 8 or 10 minute message that I'm talking about. So you can not only hear it, but you look at this beautiful picture. I'd also like to say that using Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, you can listen to all the past recordings and information that TU and I have shared over the last several years. And one more thing I'd like to share with you, and that is that I offer a complimentary consultation. In other words, free, no charge. Usually 20 minutes, but it probably runs a half an hour and even longer. So anyway, I can be of service to you. I'd love to be of service. And don't worry, I'm not going to try to sell you something. That's not my modus operandi. When I'm done, I'll say, if there's any way I can help you, please let me know. It's your decision. And it's so important for you to make that call because it can change your life. And I will tell you, it will open your mind to new vistas and new ways of thought. And then you dwell upon it, and someday you'll see the wisdom in it. The reason I say that is when we're working and I work with you, this information comes from your soul or from my soul or the true source. I never know what's going to happen. All I know is I have faith and belief that it's going to be perfect. Therefore, I just want to share those thoughts. To you, is there anything you'd like to add?
There is one thing, Michael. Along with what you said, I've been with you almost 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in a couple of weeks. And let me tell you, I have changed so much because of all the things you've taught me, and you've opened up my eyes, and it's a beautiful, beautiful gift. It's truly one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And when you give yourself that gift of love, you have that opportunity to share that gift with others. And that's why it's so important to connect with Michael. I put his contact information in the comments, and my love quote came out of this, okay? For your messages today, love is the greatest gift this holiday season. Please share it forward.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. And here we go. Talk about TU's book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul. It's all about a beautiful soul who went through her own personal trials and tribulations, like the mythological bird, the phoenix, rose from the ashes. It's a story about encouragement, success, going through the trials and tribulations, and coming out whole. This is so important to read. It's very inspirational.
Thank you, Michael.
All of you to read it.
And I'm sorry if I interrupted, but here is the place where I really believe everybody should begin. This is the Spiritual Primer written by Dr. Michael Gross. This is his second edition. It has even more golden nuggets than the first one. So I highly encourage everybody to connect with Michael or me so that you can get your hands on this beautiful book, because if it wasn't for this beautiful book and this incredible man sitting right next to me virtually, I wouldn't have written a book that he's holding, nor would I even be doing this podcast today. So on that note, Michael, I wish you the greatest holiday and blessings for the future and new year. And to everybody here, I highly recommend take a moment, take that opportunity to have that free consultation with Michael. You're going to be so glad you did. Thank you.
Thank you. And one other point I'd like to bring out. They've run out of books on Amazon. So at this point, I have not mailed in the new book for some time, but you can order it and I'll make a personal note for you about something beautiful for you. Therefore, with the information you have, if you're interested, please contact me and I'll be sure that you get a book. And eventually I will get it to Amazon. But right now, I want to have the personal touch. Therefore, all of you that are listening to us, there's the opportunity for you to get the book. Yours is on Amazon, am I correct to you?
Mine is on Amazon, but I still have some. So a signed copy, if you would like a signed copy from either one of us, just get directly in touch with us, okay? Because we would love to personally sign a copy of our books for you and then make beautiful gifts for everybody else that you love and care about. Right, Michael?
Absolutely. So thank you. I wish you all a very joyous, happy, and the merriest of Christmas. And remember, spread the love. First, you have to become love to spread love. Take care, everybody. We love
Perfect.
you. Mm.
We love you.
Remember, you
Namaste.
are unlimited. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Happy holidays, everyone.